played all together tonight. We know strength and honor.
We are back at Bobby Lackey Stadium, and already the Weslaco East Wildcats have made their way back on the field, waiting the arrival of the Harlingen South Hawks. Harlingen leads this one 21-7. I'm Joe Bowling, Terry Beitler alongside Joey Calvillo, also Aaron Sines. And fellas, well, here we go, second half, adjustment time. And Terry, come from behind, big deficits, not what you want from Weslaco East perspective.
Well, we mentioned it before. What's going to happen before Weslaco East makes any kind of a comeback? They need to force a turnover. They need to make a stop on defense. That is all important because somebody has to figure out Jaden Taylor.
Joey Calvillo, they haven't stopped him yet.
No, they haven't. And you know, I was talking to some of the people in the press box and talking to people, some people outside and the fans. And one of the things was, what's going on? What is going on with our team? What is the one thing we need to do? And I said, you know what? We kind of need to wake up. It seems like they're kind of in a lull. If you look at the last play of the first half, nobody came back to the line of scrimmage with any sense of urgency. It seems like this whole day game thing is actually really shaking up the Weslaco East the squad. It doesn't look like they know where to be, what they're doing. Even some of the scoreboard people were looking at what they're doing, and they're changing numbers back and forth. We're all thrown off by an afternoon game.
Well, Joey, I got an idea for that. Why don't you see the electrician, get those lights turned on so
maybe they'll get used to it.
They'll think it's nighttime and they'll go out and play. You know, the hidden science experiment.
Get them thinking about it. You know, we're just hoping it's a night game, or at least cloudy, give us some sense of darkness out here.
And as we said, that the sun just came out here. So
Aaron Sines sideline, quick feel either side. You've been on both sides.
Yeah, definitely. I'm over here on Harlingen South side now. I came over here to get a perspective, and they were up on their feet, excited for the second half here, and so a lot of energy.
Kickoff with the wind at their back, bangs off the goalpost, and that gives you an idea of how wind aided a kick could have been if they would have tried a field goal to close out that first half for Weslaco East.
If they could have gotten back to the line of scrimmage and actually set up something, that would have been great.
We're kind of back to the South Texas wind. If you remember last night, there wasn't hardly any wind at all for the Weslaco Los Fresnos games.
But there's plenty of wind here in this one. Now, Harlingen South in the first half outgained the Wildcats of Weslaco East. 211 yards unofficially on the offense, 175 on the ground, just 36 in the air. But Sean Montemayor, the quarterback, only threw it 5 times, completed 3 of those for 36 yards. Grant Preciado led the way in receiving with 2 catches. Jaden Taylor, though, has been the story. Lines up in the backfield, and he'll run it. First carry, second half, and he got maybe 3.
Not too much on that particular play, but they have to stop him. They have to stop this Hawk offense. It is not just Taylor, but Montemayor. And the guy we haven't really called his number too much, but you know and I know he's a game difference maker, is Nick Garcia, number 4.
Garcia's touched it 1 time, and he ran it. That was a 6-yard carry. They haven't thrown it to him yet, but he is a playmaker for Harlingen South. Second down play, and it's going to be a reverse, and here he comes. It's Garcia. They're going to get to him in the backfield and drop him for a big loss.
Gilbert Urbina tracked him all the way down. He saw him, so read that perfectly, went down there. And Gilbert is a big, strong, fast kid. He's a wrestler. He's going to get his big arms around him and bring him down hard.
Joe, I don't think they've stopped him yet on third down, but here's their opportunity, third and long.
3rd and 13, throwing into the wind is Montemayor if he puts this ball in the air. Lines 3 receivers to the right side. The wide out is Alec Garcia. Also out there, Nick Garcia joins him. And they've got a single receiver left side. Montemayor, time to throw, delivers a pass. It's going to be up for grabs and caught. First down for the Hawks, Alec Garza.
And it was a battle up in the air. Gilbert Urbina trying to get that ball. Garza, basically bigger hands and much stronger hands, that got that ball away from Urbina.
12-yard completed pass into the wind, and right there you can see it. It's a strength match, and it's won by Garza. First down for the Hawks. They convert yet again on third down. They've yet to have to punt the football tonight. This time, Garcia lines up in the backfield. Shotgun formation, flanked on either side is Montemayor. Taylor back there with Garcia. And they'll run Taylor left side. Got a block, turns the corner, makes a move, stiff arms a man. Out of bounds, but not before he gains 6 more.
what the Wildcats need to do is when they run to that sideline, when they try to turn that corner, they need to get off that block from the receivers. The DBs are being held back, not getting to the running back further down the field.
When this drive is said and done, that third down play may be the key to the whole second half. We don't know.
Nick Garcia that time led the way and then peeled back to actually deliver that block that freed up Taylor on that side run. Taylor in the backfield, Montemayor. Second down play for the Hawks. Man in motion right to left. And Montemayor hands it off, keeps it himself. Nice ball fake, and he's got a first down. Into Wildcat territory, he'll rattle off 10 yards.
And that read option for the Wildcats is really hurting them when you have him fake the ball so well and then take off and those holes open up quickly. And he's got the first down and a lot more.
A lot of East fans forget this Hawk team was rated number 1 in the Valley for a few weeks this year before the Bird Bowl.
Till they were knocked off by the Harlingen Cardinals, who, by the way, are defeating McCallum Memorial. When last we checked in that one, it was 13-0. First down play, 10:15 to go. We're in the third quarter. Harlingen South Hawks have yet to be stopped when they've had the ball on the field with the offense. Garcia goes in motion. Montemayor wants to throw. Goes for the deep ball. Way downfield up for grabs and caught by Preciado. He outleaped 2 defenders inside the 5.
And the problem is Weslaco East is not used to seeing the ball in the air. The more they've seen a running team, they've never seen a team like this that can throw the ball so effectively. When you go up in the air, you got to get it at its highest point. And right now, Weslaco East is not timing it right.
And that's Montemayor saying, wind, who cares?
Yes.
I got a receiver that can go get it.
I totally agree with you. What wind?
45-yard completed pass. First and goal, Harlingen South Hawks. Montemayor out of the shotgun with Taylor in the backfield. Receivers either side of the field on first and goal. Taylor looking for touchdown number 4 and count it.
He made it look easy.
That might be the most important drive of the game. Even though they're now up by 3 touchdowns, for them to come down the field, especially surviving that third down play and just continuing up the field. What a job by the Harlingen South Hawks.
So now it's extra point time for Harlingen South. And let's go downfield to the guy that had a pretty good view of that catch by Preciado. Aaron Signs, what'd you see there?
Well, definitely, I think Preciado, it bounced almost off the helmet of the defender. That was number 5, I believe, Rivas. And Preciado just kind of picked it off of the helmet. It was just an impressive concentration there on Preciado's part.
Extra point, Hawks, Harlingen South away, and it finds its way through. The score, 28-7, Hawks lead the Wildcats. This is high school football in Action 4 Sports on digital subchannel 4.2, valleycentral.com, and WISD.
Emily also participates in science, NHS, and graduation, she plans to attend Texas A&M University, College Station, to become a biomedical engineer. Let's give her a round of applause.
Back here at Bobby Lackey Stadium in Weslaco, and the Weslaco East Wildcats just got into a deeper hole to come from behind.
Well, Terry mentioned something earlier, outscoring their opponents. If you look at the first 5 games of the season, they outscored their opponents 185-7.
Kickoff coming up by the Hawks, and again it rolls down through there. East will bring it up across the 30-yard line into the 33. And now their offense is going to have to kick it into yet a higher gear.
And so you talk about the offense of Harlingen South. Well, this defense, showing that they can hold an offense like Weslaco East that they've never seen before, and this offensive line pushing so far back, they've actually controlled the line of scrimmage a lot of the time.
Joey, this is the first time since the Cal Allen game that they've been in this deep of a hole, though.
28-7 the score.
And that was a pretty good team, Cal Allen.
Wildcats had a lot of success on the ground in the first half. If you take a look at it, 152 yards of offense, though, 135 on the ground. Empty backfield on first down, and they'll run it with Cuellar, and he'll go nowhere.
And that's not their strength. Their strength's not running sideline to sideline. The strength is running up the middle. And I think right there it just proved that Harlingen South is faster than Weslaco East is.
He must have saw something, because instead of following the blocking, he cut back up inside. But they were waiting for him that time, the Hawks were.
Jacob Villarreal on the stop, a loss of 1 on the play. And it brings up 2nd and 11 for the Wildcats of Weslaco East, who find themselves down 3 scores in the third quarter. Rivas pitches it back, short side of the field. Cuellar hit again and loses yardage.
Big number 35 for Harlingen South. I believe that's Brandon Rodriguez, a big linebacker for the Hawks. He really took care of Saul Cuellar that time.
Loss of 3, 2 carries. Cuellar, -4 out of the gate to start the second half.
Offensive line is allowing that penetration. They need to get on the block, stand man-to-man, and push people backwards. Right now, they're getting pushed backwards.
Joe, I know this takes away from the game a little bit, but I look at the Harlingen South Hawk uniforms here. They almost remind me of the University of Miami, the Hurricanes.
The old
in a way.
ones, the one,
yeah,
yeah.
The Hurricanes there.
Here we go with a third down play for Weslaco East. Now Harlingen South converted on a third down that ended up resulting in a touchdown, and now a timeout called. Head coach trying to find a way to get his team fired up.
They just looked totally out of sync. They had no idea what was going on.
Maldonado was heading to the other side of the field, and yeah, they did look.
They had a 3-receiver set, and all of a sudden the receivers had no idea where they're going. But that goes back to Joe, where I was talking about. They got to go back to their comfort zone. Their comfort zone is running in between the tackles, not going to the outside, not passing the ball. And sometimes when you're trailing by this many points, you get out of your comfort zone. That's what ends up going on. You lose more points by not being in your comfort zone.
Aaron Sines, you've watched this Harlingen South squad mature over the past few years. A few years back, they were losing to everybody. Couple years back, they were on the verge of winning ball games. Now they've matured into a team that goes for the jugular when they smell a victory.
I'll tell you what, Coach Lenny Wilson has had a huge impact on that program. And I'm going to just say something right now. I'm watching Coach Wilson right here next to him, and he's calling out where these guys are running the ball before the ball is snapped. So I think they've seen something that Weslaco East is doing. And so, again, a big testament to Lanny Wilson and his program. And South has really come along a long way.
Third and long, and the Wildcats want to throw. Rivas looking downfield, tip ball, nearly caught anyway, incomplete, wouldn't have been a first down anyway.
Going for the number 1 receiver, Tommy Maldonado, and just a bad throw.
And when you're basically a running team and you have to come from behind, sometimes you're out, like you said, you're out of your comfort zone trying to pass the ball. They can do it as a gadget play once in a while, but to have to rely on it now like they're going to have to.
Rivas now 1 of 5 in the passing game for 17 yards, and it's punting time for the Wildcats.
Urbina is the punter.
Urbina the punter, and back to receive it is Nick Garcia. Good snap. Kick is away. Garcia will get a chance to return this, and watch out here. Looks to get to the left side. They string it there wide. He now gets a couple of blocks, turns it upfield, and it's spun out of bounds. It's first down for the Hawks. Coach actually helped him over there, trying to keep him on.
Aaron, you weren't in on that tackle, were you?
No, and I wasn't. I was over here about 40 yards this way. Okay. But I was watching him right as he came along that sideline. He was about to cut it upfield again, and he had some space to run, but just the defender, I didn't get a good number, but he just corralled him from behind. Good thing he did, because there was some space for Nick Garcia to run.
Weslaco East fans still believing that their team's going to come back here, and why not? 7:57 to go here at Bobby Lackey Stadium. Thanks again to WISD for providing us the camera angles from which to view this one here on a Saturday afternoon in the Bi-District Playoff. Montemayor and company haven't been stopped all day. 4 possessions, 4 touchdowns. Taylor, a big reason for that, runs through a tackle, carries a guy, and gains 6 more yards.
It's rare when one guy can bring him down, Joe. He usually draws a lot of tacklers when he's got the football.
That time he gained the 6 yards. You can see the initial hit
There's
there.
one hit, yep.
And here comes a couple more yards, and 4 guys ended up surrounding him to drop him down.
It looked like Anguiano had him, but he needed help, that's for sure.
Taylor now 15 carries, 130 yards. Looking for more. Montemayor will keep it himself, and he's got a huge hole into the secondary. First down and more.
But, you talk all the strategy, what Weslaco East has to do to get back in this game. Where the strategy really starts is what we talked about earlier. They have to stop them on defense. If the defense can't stop them, Harlingen South can score all day long.
Well, what's happening is the guards are getting past the defensive linemen and blocking upfield, blocking the linebackers, and that's what's getting those big holes.
A line of scrimmage.
First down play for Montemayor. Third quarter dominated thus far by Harlingen South. Taylor gets to the outside, turns a corner, down the sideline. He's got another 13 yards as he's bumped out of bounds at the 30.
Most games are won in the trenches, and I guess you might say this one as well.
Jake Martinez, Henry Flores, Isaac Garcia, Timothy Gomez, Bobby Guerra, just some of the big beef up front that's providing a big day for Jaden Taylor. First down play once again for Harlingen South. Taylor went out of bounds, so they stopped the clock with 6:57 to go. And yes, you start looking at clock because it's as much an opponent as the score is, and the Harlingen South Hawks are right now to Weslaco East. Montemayor this time. Hit in the backfield. Penalty flag on the play as well. Lost a couple, and we'll see what the penalty's all about.
That's a good open field tackle by Ricky Almaraz because nobody has really been stopping Montemayor all day long as well.
On that side, Montemayor's been human, but between the tackles, he's been subhuman. He's been awesome with the middle.
There's Coach Guzman right there.
No, it's not Coach Guzman.
It's
Holding
not? My
on
bad.
the offense, number 61.
Joey knows the coach
10
as
yards,
well.
previous spot, first down.
There'll be a penalty against Harlingen South, so that'll move them back to the 40.
We haven't talked too much about the officials today. They've done a pretty good job. I guess it's because they know Aaron, they're doing a good job out there.
Leave my name out of it.
Okay.
First down play, 20 yards to go for the Hawks. Montemayor hasn't had to throw much, has been successful when he does. Hands it off to Garcia. This time they'll get him. So if nothing else, Weslaco East has corralled Nick Garcia thus far today.
Yeah, they've done a good job on him, but somebody forgot to mention Jaden Taylor, although he hasn't been real big here in the second half, but Harlingen's taking time off, as you mentioned, they're taking time off the clock, and it's in their favor, especially with a 3-touchdown lead.
Up by 3 scores with their hands on the football. Offense has yet to been stopped today. Montemayor, 2 receivers left, single receiver to the right side, hasn't had to throw it much today. Looks to throw here. Man downfield, underthrown, incomplete. The wind got that one.
This will bring up third down, I believe. Third down and long.
Looked like he hit a brick wall.
That ball just...
Is that graphic right? 2nd and 21? 3rd and 21?
3rd and 21 coming up. Yeah, that ball never had a chance to get downfield. Those are ones you got to pick.
Yeah, you definitely got to go for that ball. Dive for that ball.
Well, maybe Weslaco East our defense can stop him here.
J.R. Villarreal had his eyes looking at that one. He's probably looking at that on film. He'd like to get another crack at that. 3rd and long. Montemayor has converted every time on 3rd down thus far today. Garcia in motion, left to right. Montemayor, straight drop back, sets up a screen. Taylor caught it, looks for some blocks, gets away from one. They knock him down. Nice coverage by Weslaco East, and they do get a stop.
And Anguiano with a big stop right there. Big hit him in the legs and brought him down. Otherwise, that was green space in front of him. He was going to go for at least a first down.
This is an all-important punt here because if they put the Wildcats back on the 5-yard line or inside the 10, it's going to make it even more difficult for the Wildcats to come back from 3 scores here.
Or will they punt at all? Montemayor
That's true.
stays in the ball game. Offense stays on the field. It's 4th and 15. Got to get to the 20 for a first down. Montemayor has gone with a pooch punt on a couple of occasions this season, if I'm reading my stats right early. Wants to throw here. Looks for the deep ball. Up for grabs. Preciado. Got it again. Touchdown Hawks.
And that goes back to, you do this for a living. You throw the ball for a living. Preciado coming back to the ball, getting up high, getting that ball before even the East player defender knew what it was going on.
Is this guy a cousin of Brandon Colon or what?
What a catch by
what?
Grant Preciado. When you see the replay on this one, fans, this is Division I kind of stuff. Montemayor, this is 4th and 15. all the time in the world, and this is into a dead set wind.
Look at him come back for the ball,
And
go
he
up.
makes the adjustment, outfights the defender. One-on-one coverage, I'll take that all day, says Coach Lanny Wilkins.
Especially when you get that high up in the air.
34-7 Hawks, extra point coming up, Harlingen South. And it's good. Preciado on the night. 4 catches, 93 yards, 2 of them for touchdowns. Montemayor, 7 of 10, 132, 2 touchdowns. Hawks haven't been stopped all day.
If you're going to award 3 stars to the game, it's going to be Jaden Taylor, it is going to be Sean Montemayor, and now it's going to be Preciado. Those are your 3 offensive stars of the game so far today.
And
by
the
far.
defensive coordinator saying, wait a minute, what about us?
Yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
the defense has been pretty darn tough too.
7 points allowed thus far, and that's into the wind. Again, as you watch this replay, the wind is stiff, and Aaron Sainz, you're down there. You saw Preciado about 5 yards away from you make that catch. Talk about it.
I'll tell you what, 2 plays earlier, 2 plays before that, he was wide open. There was busted coverage. He was running down the sideline here. That was the ball, if y'all remember, you said it kind of hit a wall. I mean, Preciado was wide open, so I think they saw that, came back to it 2 plays later. He did an inside and a quick outside route to the post, wide open. I mean, he just went up for the ball. He just that confidence that Montemayor has to his receiver, that his receivers can get up and get it. Just another phenomenal catch by number 24.
And Aaron, down there, talk about the wind, because that's into a strong breeze that Montemayor is showing a strong arm.
Yeah, definitely, and especially going to the left corner of the end zone, because that wind is a southeast wind. It's coming right through. It's kind of funneling through, and so to have that strength, you've got to put about an extra 5 to 8 yards on that throw, if you will. I'm just trying to guess, just to make that get to where he wants it to go. But when you have someone like Preciado, you kind of just put it in the general area. He goes and gets it.
Same as Brandon Colon last night for Los Fresnos. Kickoff by the Hawks, knuckleball kick, fielded cleanly this time, and now quickly across the 25 to 30-yard line, 35-yard line for Weslaco East. And now we're going to suddenly see East in a position to do things they don't like to do.
When you're in a situation like this and you got your Weslaco East, you cannot go to your run game. You cannot go through the tackles. You got to come up with something different. So right now, Coach Burgett is going to come up with something out of his playbook, some kind of trick plays to get this offense started. But Harlingen South controlling the line of scrimmage from the get-go.
Well, like Aaron Sainz said on the sideline, Coach Lanny Wilson literally calling out the plays, telling his players from the defensive perspective where they're running it thus far here in the second half. Cuellar in the backfield. Rivas wants to throw. Got a man across the 40, a quick 7-yard gain. Hawks will give that up all day.
I'm thinking 4th and 21, who cares? If you're Harlingen South, I can do all right today. And I feel bad for Weslaco. I would say in the last 2 days, guys, that the city of Weslaco is seeing a passing game from both Harlingen South and Los Fresnos they haven't seen all year long.
Second down play coming up for Weslaco East. Game clock at 4:35 in the third. Rivas keeps it himself. Hit, not going anywhere, lost a couple. And this Hawk defense is just playing more and more confident as this day goes on.
Or you look there again, the penetration from Harlingen South. They're not doing any stunts. All they're doing is man on man and beating Weslaco East to the punch. That's something that Weslaco East football and Weslaco East fans are not used to.
Aaron Nahara also on the tackle. Jacob Villarreal for the Hawks, literally looking as if they were untouched by a blocker wearing the black and white of Weslaco East. 3rd down and 7. Rivas wants to throw. Rolls out to buy some time. Rifles one incomplete. Batted down, and a penalty flag on the play, though. Isaac Garcia there. May have been some contact.
Isaac Garcia had his hand on Ty Maldonado's back, and I think that's what brought him down.
Well, somebody's picking up a penalty here. That flag went down rather emphatically by the official over there. But
Yeah, definitely think so. Garcia had his left hand on the back of the receiver, pushing him down. And so I think you're right on that, Joey. I think he's going to go against South.
So that will give Weslaco East a new life here in this drive.
Holding on the defense.
guys, I don't know if
On
it's
an
just me,
eligible
but
receiver.
it almost looks
10
like
yards, previous
Weslaco
spot,
East has reached a
first
point
down.
of frustration at this point in the ballgame.
When you start having to do things that all season long you haven't had to do, yeah, that's a penalty there. Back hand on the back, and then the big swat.
Well, the Wildcats have been in every game but one this year, Joe, and it looks like it might be every game but 2 now.
Rivas going to run it himself, and he is going to be hit, thrown forward. Got a couple, but there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 white shirts in the vicinity before he ever started to turn that corner.
And I cannot recall the last time Weslaco East ran the ball up the middle. And that's their bread and butter plays. Up the middle, they're running to the sidelines trying to outspeed Harlingen. They're not going to do that.
So that means that Harlingen South's front guys, Christian Rodriguez, Gus Sierra, and Zach Galindo up there up front making plays for the Hawks. Wildcats run it up the middle, and that goes nowhere. Maybe that's why.
I was wrong. Joe, as soon as I asked for it, look what happens.
Cuellar was met by a wall. It looks like the front 4 of the Hawks aren't being touched right now. Early on, they were being moved backwards.
What is the pride of Weslaco East High School? The east side, strong side, the offensive line is being pushed backwards into the backfield. That's not a good thing, and I know Coach Burgett is probably going to be very frustrated with that.
But how do you adjust to it on the fly? That's my question. Coach Burgett is a great coach, first-year coach, trying to
first-year head coach.
Yeah, first-year head coach.
Third down play once again. They converted with the assistance of a penalty last time. Here comes the blitz, and Rivas is going to go down. Sacked by Harlingen South's James Carpio. Rivas never saw him coming.
Blindside corner blitz coming in from Harlingen South, and you see it, nobody picked them up. They're not used to passing the ball, so if you don't see blitzes, you don't pass the ball, you're not going to see a blitz.
And that brings up 4th and a bunch.
And Joey hasn't gone to Santillan except for a little bit there in the second quarter. I figured he might bring him in and put Rivas out in a wide receiver spot.
Weslaco East in punt formation. Nick Garcia back to return this kick for Harlingen South. This third quarter has been dominated by the Harlingen South Hawks. Kick is away, a wobbly kick. Garcia will field it, makes a move, gets hit though, and dropped right there. Nice coverage that time downfield by Weslaco East as Ricky Almaraz makes the stop.
I thought he was going to actually do a fair catch for that. That was a pretty dangerous catch.
Joe, obviously at halftime, Coach Lanny Wilson made the adjustments necessary because it was only 21-7 at halftime, and it's now 35-7. That means they've outscored the Wildcats by 14 here in the third quarter alone.
Look at that kiss cam going on.
Here at Weslaco East.
You got to watch out with that.
Now, any of the other schools in the valley, do they have kiss cams?
I have not seen a kiss cam any other high schools. No, sir.
Okay.
First down play for the Hawks. And again, this offense, my friends, has not been stopped all day long. Montemayor, a big reason. So is Taylor, who carries it here and rise out for 2 or 3. And here's where Harlingen South would like to go Weslaco East, if you will. Couple of yards, 30 seconds. Move this clock, get into the fourth quarter, go home with a win.
Well, they've proven 4 downs is okay. They don't need to punt.
And, Joe, you said the number 1s have been in the game so far. Are we going to see any of the reserves getting a little chance in the fourth quarter?
Possibly, because you're looking at having a very physical football team if it plays out that Edinburgh North is your next opponent.
Well, that would be defense.
Edinburgh North is a big defensive team.
Second down play coming up for the Hawks. And they'll run it with Taylor, makes 2 nice moves and slides forward awkwardly at about the 31-yard line, which is real close to first down yardage.
A little bit of a limp there as he got up, but
it went down weird.
Okay.
Just use that right there.
We'll call that.
Just use that right there. That's an awkward drop.
That was attempted a slide.
It looked like a quarterback trying to slide that time.
Which is not what we saw him doing earlier. He was running at guys, looking for guys to hit.
And he has scored, what did you say, 4 touchdowns?
Yeah.
So he scored 4 of the 5. Preciado's had the other one.
And I don't think Weslaco East has seen somebody like this have gone up and actually looked for contact as a runner. It'll be short.
That would be a battle, a gigantic battle. Harlingen South and Edinburgh North.
That's coming.
And then Harlingen, Sheridan.
Don't say that yet because they got to be Eagle Pass first.
Yeah, they got to get past Eagle Pass, and they're doing it without David Anzaldua, their big Division I prospect, 6'7" lineman who went down with an injury. He's on crutches.
I can tell you from experience, Weslaco, who's going to play Eagle Pass? Harlingen South?
No, Eagle Pass is taking Edinburgh North.
Okay, they'll beat them. We saw Eagle Pass the first game of the year.
Terry's making a prediction
So
already.
South, get ready. Get your scouting reports out and Pay no attention to Eagle Pass. Get ready for Edinburgh North. Running play, that goes nowhere. It was 3rd and short. They lost yardage on that play on a carry by Key Rose. And perhaps for the first time today, I'm going to say it, Harlingen South will punt.
No, they're going to stay out there.
How do I know about Eagle Pass? Joe, I'll tell you right now, it's a 5-hour drive to nowhere when you go to Eagle Pass. It is up.
So that alone will say that Edinburgh North will beat them.
We'll just say it, they're not in the valley. They're about 3 hours north of Laredo.
I was listening to an interview by when they were interviewing the coach from Edinburgh North. He's talking about the trip up there and what time they're going to get up there. So they had plans up there already to go up there to Eagle Pass, and they're going to get themselves prepared. But again, Terry's seen Eagle Pass. Is it compared to North? Have we seen North? We haven't. I've seen North because my wife graduated from there. I have a brother-in-law that's a coach from there. So I've seen North. North is a tremendously good team. Defensively, they're unbelievable. Offensive line-wise, they're gonna dominate the line of scrimmage.
Aren't they like a linebacker U type of team, Edinburgh North?
Yeah, they've got a lot of fast linebackers. They got a defensive return. I think 9 starters from last year. Yeah. They're big. They're physical. I saw them in their loss to Sherryland, and even in that ball game, they lost that game, but they forced 4 turnovers against Sherryland's offense, which has been dominant against anybody and everybody all season long. En route to another 10-0 regular season, which, by the way, is the 2nd consecutive for Sherryland. Punting time for the Hawks. First time we've seen this all day. And Garcia gets it away. Nobody back to return it. And good field position will result out of this. It does take a south roll down to the 39 for Weslaco East. And it is down to 10 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. And yes, it's panic button time for Weslaco East. If you want any prayer of a comeback, you're going to be talking about one of the biggest in a long time. Timeout on the field. We'll take our break after our next break of opportunity here, which is going to be the quarter break. But guys, it's panic time for Weslaco.
Yeah, you're looking at a Houston Oilers, Buffalo Bills type of comeback.
I remember that. I've seen some crazy stuff in high school sports. Terry, you've been doing it a long time as well. So you never say never, because strange things do happen when you suddenly start saying I've seen it all. First down play for the Wildcats. Pump fake, Rivas got a man open down the sideline, caught here, look at this. Garcia trying to catch him. Willie, he does, drags him down at the 1. Final play of the 3rd quarter, Weslaco East looking to score points quick. We'll take a quick break as that's the end of the 3rd quarter. We'll talk about that play and more. Action 4 Sports on digital subchannel 4.2, valleycentral.com, and WISD.
We have a personal foul, face mask, number 3 on the offense. The penalty will be walked off from the spot of the foul. It'll still be a first down. We will have 1 on-time play.
Back here, and a little development at the end of that play, which means we're going to have one more play before the 4th quarter begins. Weslaco East got the big pass play, fellas, but then a penalty at the tail end of it.
Tommy Maldonado, face mask, trying to get away from the tackler. All of a sudden, now it's a penalty, a 15-yard penalty from the spot of the foul, which is going to bring it close to the 18-yard line, the 16-yard line, and then we got 1 untimed play before the quarter ends.
Now why the untimed play? Because it's against the offense, and it happened after the clock had run to zeros.
I think it was 1 second or 2 seconds on the clock when that actually went down. And,
okay.
And that's what happened. Maybe Aaron can explain that a little bit better.
It's kind of make up your mind which way we're going to go, because this is almost like a 90-yard sprint from one extreme end of the field, the north end. Now they're going to have to go all the way back to the south end of the field.
Aaron, former official, what's the call down there?
Yeah, definitely, because he went down and they would have stopped the clock to move the chains for a first down. So that would have given him a couple seconds on the clock before that third quarter was actually over. So they got to replay those couple seconds just as it were. They can't move into the fourth quarter just because, you know, it ended well after the play was over.
So this could be the final play of the third quarter. Running play, Cuellar, dropped, little gain or none. Fourth quarter coming up, 35-7, all Hawks here. Action 4 Sports on digital sub-channel 4.2, valleycentral.com, and WISD. ValleyCentral.com and high school football here as the Weslaco East Wildcats have it. First play of the fourth quarter coming up, and they will go with a running play. Saul Cuellar takes it to the right side, fights hard, and makes his way down inside the 5-yard line. As once again we are back here at Bobby Lackey Stadium. We are starting the fourth quarter with a running play by Cuellar. He goes for a couple, and it's second and goal coming up for the Wildcats.
Well, that last play was all second effort by Saul Cuellar.
Yeah, once again, Joe, I thought maybe if he wouldn't have ran into a couple of his own blockers, he might have even made it into the end zone that time.
Wildcats trying to score early here in this fourth quarter of play.
How are we doing on timeouts here? Lots
They
of
have
timeouts?
one left.
Oh, Weslaco East has
Weslaco
one.
East has
Okay.
one left. Out of the backfield, they'll shift a man. Rivas takes a snap, running play right side, drives forward, got in. Touchdown, Darren Rivas and the Weslaco East Wildcats.
And we talked about that earlier, Joe. That's one of the mainstay plays, or bread and butter plays when the short yardage, quarterback sneak, and they run it perfectly behind the center. Dicanini leading the way.
Big answer that time for Weslaco East. The big pass play, and then it's Rivas running it in after Cuellar ran for 13.
Yeah, I wanted to ask Aaron about that pass play because that was kind of going away from what they'd been trying to do, and Maldonado was wide open on that particular play.
Extra point up and no good by Weslaco East. So even that's off kilter.
Out of sync a little bit. It seems like everything for Weslaco East right now is halfway working, halfway not working. It goes back to preparation. I mean, how different is an afternoon game compared to an evening game? And I found out from one of the coaches that when they flipped the coin, Harlingen South wanted an afternoon game. They did not want an evening game. And to dismay a lot of Harlingen fans because they wanted to see both games, we're not able to do that.
And I think that goes back to Lanny Wilson knew the system of playing on a Saturday and playing on Saturday afternoons. They had some Saturday afternoons. They also had a Saturday morning game over there at Brownsville this year.
So many Brownsville schools, they've got sharing one stadium.
They were there every Saturday, it seemed, for an afternoon game and an evening game.
It is hard to believe, though, in the 13 or 14-year history of the school that Weslaco East has never played an afternoon game. But they, up until 2 years ago, Joe, they were always a 4A school. So they just joined the 5A ranks here, and they're not doing too bad for a second-year 5A school.
Back-to-back playoff appearances.
Right.
District title last year.
The district title last year.
And that took everyone and kind of, there's that man-on-man between two of the toughest guys on the football field. On that pass completion for Weslaco East. Now the East Wildcats, do they go into full-blown onside kick mode in the whole 9 yards here?
Look like they're setting up for it. That's exactly right.
Why not? You're on your home field. There's 11:29 left in your season if you can't turn this around. And they will go for the onside kick. Get a good bounce out of this, too. Ooh. And get the football.
Yeah, they did. Great Great bounce that time.
Anguiano getting up in the air high and getting that ball to the highest point, like he was a receiver getting a pass.
I told you not to say that it can't happen, okay?
Joe, it looked like that Harlingen South was just looking at the football instead of going in and grabbing it, and it gave Weslaco East a chance to kind of leap for it and get it.
Juan Anguiano on the pick there.
There's Coach Burgett.
Handed to Martin Silva, the kicker. What a beautiful bounce he got on that ball.
Right there.
Way up in the air, and Anguiano going up for it.
That's
like
exactly
if they've done this every year.
You script that to right there. That's what you want that kick to do. Now, they got to get points quick. Cuellar running right side, and there's white jerseys everywhere. He still gets to the sideline and gets out of bounds. He'll gain a little out of that, but boy, they are really stringing that out well.
Yeah, there's good blocking there, but there's nowhere to go. They're coming to the near side, and that's the short side. So we're looking for some little hole there, and it's not really there.
But do you sense this? Here's that urgency you were looking for in the first half.
Now you see it.
Yeah, you do.
Now you see that sense of urgency that we were looking for at the end of the second half.
Second down play coming up for the Wildcats of Weslaco East. Rivas hands it off. Left side, that's not going to go far.
That's Justin Segura, I believe, the ball carrier. He's a tough one, but they're going to need some big yards in a hurry here, the Weslaco East Wildcats.
That clock is not their friend. If the scoreboard's not, the clock certainly isn't either. They still trail by a bunch here.
Yeah, they're down three scores. Yeah, 3 scores. You're right.
Rivas under center, play clock running, game clock running too. They'll run it right side. Cuellar hit, runs through a couple of tackles, still on his feet. They haven't blown this play dead yet, and they haven't taken him down. Now they do. That's a first down. All second effort, Saul Cuellar.
So we're doing what every coach tells a running back to do. Continue to pump your legs. You're not down until the whistle blows. Keep on moving those legs. And look at him. Breaks 3 or 4 tackles there. Then he gets behind his offensive lineman, and then right there, pumping those legs, making that first down purely on second effort and carrying 3 or 4 guys with him.
He got the first down. They spot the football, and Rivas, though, taking his time, now gets under center. Hands it out, keeps it himself. Running right side, they'll hem him in. Now he gets somewhere. Out across the 30, down to about the 26. That's not enough for a first down, and that clock, you need that urgency on that side of the ball, too.
That's going to bring up a second and short situation, which is good for Weslaco East right now. But again, you mentioned this. The clock is ticking. This offense is not built to get down the field fast.
Joe, this looks like the offense that started the game for Weslaco East.
Yeah, they were moving the ball.
Where were they in the middle of the game? But it was just Weslaco East, or Harlingen South, they're in the middle.
Taken away from them. Cuellar runs right side. Hit in the backfield. Fights off a couple of tacklers. Got a first down again on second effort.
When you get hit in the backfield, and you continue to go. And so Cuellar, like I told you earlier, is not going to be brought down by arm tackles at all.
Keep thinking here, it's short side of the field. He's going to run out of room, and he just like gets to that sideline and says, okay, my line is here. Now I go forward.
Yeah, and as a defensive player, you think, oh, I got this guy. He's down. I hit him hard.
Yeah.
He spins out and gets a first down.
Can we get a prediction from Aaron Sines on this first down? Because
they're going to measure.
This guy has been amazing picking how much it either made or didn't make it. So the pressure's on here.
He's 100% right.
Yeah, I know. The only problem is that I'm not allowed to get that close in there. So,
okay.
You're going to have to just give me a they got it.
Okay.
100% right there.
The Weslaco East fans sitting there a little. You score here, you're in a 2-score scenario in which you can start seeing some things, especially the high school level, go on with 8 or 9 minutes to go.
Good place to watch a football game. About 80% of the home side here, Joe, has the theater back seating, so it's a comfortable seat here anyway.
And now they need their team to get busy on the scoreboard. Running play, Rivas kept it himself, gains a couple.
Quarterback sneak, they use that at multiple times just to get 3 or 4 yards and also to keep the defensive line linebackers honest.
He went off the left guard that time.
If you're Harlingen South, you will give up those plays between the hash marks that don't give up first downs, that keep the clock running. Everybody jumps off sides, free play. Rivas rumbles inside the 20.
And that's where we're moving your cadence around, using that cadence as a weapon. He's done this all year long.
Got him to jump early. For the most part, this has been a penalty-free type of game.
5 yards, previous spot.
I guess really the one penalty that really cost this game, Joe, was critical, was the run that Salquera scored a touchdown on. They got the penalty on that play, took the points off the board, and then Harlingen and South came back the other end and scored on the other end after the penalty. That was huge.
Wildcats up to the line on second down. Cuellar running right side, spins forward, got down to the 6, first and goal coming up for the Wildcats. And like we're looking at here, if they get in here, it's down to a 2-score ball game.
But that PAT can make a difference.
If you got Saul Cuellar running like he is now, you can go for 2.
Exactly.
See what they do here. Rivas on first and goal, keeps it himself. Fumbled the football. It's going to be recovered by Weslaco East.
It looks like Segura got on it.
Yeah, Segura got right on the ball at about the 5-yard line, but that could have been critical there, too. That could have been the final straw. But you know if they score again here, Joe, they're going to go for another onside kick.
Well, still keeps the clock running.
And are we at that point in the game where these seniors are saying, this is my last hurrah?
Yeah, urgency. I've been back to urgency, and how do you play out the final minutes of your high school career? Running play, Cuellar. This is a free play as the defense appeared to come off sides, and a penalty comes in after that, which may be a block, which will offset this.
It looks like the first is offsides, and the second is going to be a holding.
Well, I like the side judge. He threw his flag, then he threw his hat.
Well, there's an order to that, Terry. You didn't know that?
No, I didn't.
You throw your flag, then your hat, and then your beanbag.
Okay.
Aaron will back me up on that.
That's right. And that means that there's 2 penalties on play, too. So the flag was 1, hat serves as the second penalty. So I think they both picked up the offsides. Second one is going to be on the linesman on that side. He's got a second penalty.
So the good news for Weslaco East is it'll stop the clock.
Holding on the offense.
There's your offsetting penalties.
Penalties offset. Repeat the down.
And just replay second down.
See, I learned something from this game, Joe.
Never say you know it all either.
At my age, I'm an old dog. I can learn new tricks.
I make sure never to say I've seen it all or that I know it all, because somebody will find something and say, hey, what about this? I don't know. Just learned that myself. Second down and goal to go. Rivas keeps it, not going to get in.
Once again, offsides. The cadence helping out.
Yeah, he's amped up the cadence count here, that's for sure.
Offsides on the defense, number 6. 5 yards, previous spot.
And that,
still
Joe, is not
down.
going to show up on any stats.
No, that's what
it's going to show up on the penalties, and that's about it. But that is a weapon that they've been using all year long.
Correction, half the distance to the goal.
So half the distance to the goal. Clock stops while they move the football. 8:17 left. It's taking them a minute and some change to go the 3.5 yards they have. And Harlingen South wants to call and take a timeout. With that timeout, we'll take one too. 35-13 Hawks. This is Action 4 Sports on digital subchannel 4.2, valleycentral.com, and WISD. On valleycentral.com, here we are back with action after a timeout by Harlingen South Hawks, and Rivas going to take the handoff into Cuellar, and he will not get in again.
Looked like Brandon Rodriguez, among the tacklers for Harlingen South, said, "You're not going this time, son."
Cuellar on the carry after the timeout didn't get in, so the clock continues to run, and it's just taken a long time. They got down to first and goal. It's now third and goal. And another cadence call, and Rivas this time gets it to the goal line, and he is not in, says the official.
Oh, I thought he made it there, but I guess not.
I thought so too. I thought he snuck in.
I thought that push got him in there, but obviously if the side judge comes in, doesn't have his hands up, he's signaling the next down.
So now it's 4th and goal for Weslaco East, and I'm telling you, this just precious time is going away. If they get in here, it's still down to a 2-score possession, but a 2-possession game. But you have taken away a lot of time. Rivas keeps it himself, ducks his head, drives his shoulder, in for the touchdown for Weslaco East.
And right there, you talked about it, Joe. Now it's 7-17. When they were within the 5-yard line, it was close to 9 minutes. So you have all that time off the clock that East could have used later in this game. Let's see how much it comes into play later on.
And because of the difficulties getting that couple of yards at a time, they may not go for a 2-point conversion. At some point you need to if you're Weslaco East, because right now you're down with 17 points.
Well, time is going off the clock, and Coach Burgett's bringing different personnel in there.
When he's talking to Rivas, Rivas can go one of two ways. He can either be the quarterback or he is the holder.
Well, they better hurry. They got 5 seconds on the play clock as they break out of the huddle. Down to 2-1, and they will not get it off. They have to burn their final timeout on an extra point. 7:17 to go. We'll take a break after this extra point attempt. But again, there it was, the final timeout. And
there's our superintendent, Dr. Ruben Alejandro. Dr. Alejandro's brought this initiative in, Joe, and I don't know if you're aware of it. It's called the 21st Century Learner, and that's been a very big deal in Weslaco. Our bring your own technology is what a lot of kids have been bringing to class, or cell phones or tablets, and it's actually brought the experience of the new technology, learning in the classroom. It's brought it up to a different level. Matter of fact, tomorrow, on Monday, they're going to have a technology open house kind of thing.
Really?
By both high schools.
Neat stuff here at Weslaco. Extra point coming up for Weslaco East. Down 16 points. Either way, it's a 2-possession, but you would need 2 extra points of the 2-point variety. Pass play, Rivas. Looks in the corner of the end zone. Got a man. 2-point is good.
Sabina, I believe.
7:17 to go. Wildcats a little closer. Kickoff coming up. Another onside kick, perhaps.
And Gilbert Urbina has been doing this all year long when it comes to the short yardage and the 2-point conversions, those trick plays within in the red zone. And Gilbert Urbina wanted to be receiver. Now he's got the chance.
So do you go for the onside kick again, fellas?
Well, if you execute it like they did last time, Joe, why not?
Well,
you got nothing to lose because
that was a perfect bounce there.
Can lightning strike twice?
I mean, what do you have to lose? Because if you don't win the ball game, you pack up the uniforms tomorrow and get ready for next year, I guess.
Well, again, the onside kick last time was executed as well as you play it out.
So when you draw it up on the chalkboard or the marker board.
The winner of this game plays
Edinburgh North.
Or
Edinburgh North, according to you. they're playing Eagle Pass.
Oh, they're playing Eagle. Oh, my
They're
bad.
not playing anybody else here, according to what you said.
Okay.
Edinburgh North just took a bus ride for a Saturday, and they're coming back Saturday night.
Play the casino.
Where are they playing at Roman?
At Eagle Pass.
Oh, at Eagle Pass. Well, I don't know. It's a long drive. That might be the equalizer up there.
Got to check that, gentlemen. I think that's going to be an Alice tonight.
Oh, that's
right.
Okay,
you're right.
Alice. All right. Kickoff coming up by Weslaco East. They got one onside kick, looking for another. Get another good bounce, but this time Arlington South was able to cover it. And so now pressure on the defense. They've stopped them once.
Do you know who caught that ball? I think it was Preciado.
Well, why not? I'd have him and Garcia and Montemayor and Taylor and everybody else.
That's why you call them the hands team. Those guys with the good hands are out there.
Preciado reminds me of Alegria last night from Los Fresnos. They're kind of a supporting role, but they stepped up to start them today.
First down play coming up for the Hawks. Now, no timeouts remain for Weslaco East. So if you're Harlingen South, we'll probably see a heavy dose of Jaden Taylor right now, and why not? 17 carries, 150 yards on the day, and 4 touchdowns. Montemayor also been very successful running the football. This time it's Taylor. Bounce it outside, and look who led the block.
Wow.
Montemayor. Taylor gains a yard or two, but that's a quarterback saying, here I go.
Was that a quarterback block, or was that an offensive lineman in a quarterback's body?
That's what I told you earlier. Here he is. This is Montemayor out of your screen, but here he comes back in, and there's the block. That's a quarterback, fellas.
Well, maybe not a textbook block, but
that's a little help.
he was willing to give the hit. That's what I'm saying.
That was a
there.
little helmet to helmet. Is that did they allow that helmet to helmet stuff?
No, but there was probably shock to the quarterback
I'm not-
about their period.
I'm not going to tell the official that, but
Second down play coming up for the Hawks. Play clock down to 8. They'll let it run a little further down as well. Montemayor hands it off. Taylor again. Spins, got away from a couple, and look at this. Down the sideline, one man to beat, and he's going to go to the house for a 5th time today.
and who led the blocking down the field?
Montemayor,
Exactly.
51 yards, Jaden Taylor.
Quarterback blocking quarterback.
Yeah, the last block was a Montemayor block that just took the defender up big time.
And that was the defender was Darren Rivas. The last chance for the Wildcats to get that ball carrier.
Watch this block by Montemayor at the very end of the play.
Taylor goes for the 200-yard mark on this one. Watches, waits, knew a block had to be delivered. Once it was there, he eased into the end zone.
5 touchdowns?
5 touchdown day for
What a
Jaden
day.
Taylor. Not a bad day's work.
I thought Javi Cruz had a big night last night against Weslaco, but this guy here, Taylor, is having just as big a day for the South Hawks.
Extra point coming up. Snap back, good. Kick away, also good.
Well, 32-5 is really liking Bobby Lackey Stadium, aren't they?
They're going to go 2 for 2, it appears, out of the gate in the playoffs this year.
Now, does Harlingen bring this kind of offense as well as Harlingen South?
Harlingen brings a
I know they're defensively it's good.
similar. They throw the ball a lot more.
Okay.
Some have said this because they don't need a running attack. You talk to their coach and he'll say, I take what's given to me. These teams keep giving me the pass. I've got a quarterback that can throw.
Well, I've been in the Valley since '86, and I'll tell you, the Harlingen program is as good as I've seen in that span of time. That's a quarter century, and Harlingen is year in and year out is good.
And they're good again this year. And they are on what we talked about in the off the air and the press box up here is the payback tour. San Benito beat them last year. Crossed that one off. Los Fresnos beat them last year. Crossed that one off. They were shut out by San Antonio Johnson badly. Went up there, scored points against them, played them toe-to-toe. Johnson ended up winning their district.
Now, did they play Sharyland last year?
And they got beat bad. That's
Oh,
the next
my.
on the list
Oh,
of the
hello.
payback tour.
Check.
That's coming out. I don't know if you can check that off as a payback because I've seen that Sharyland Ball Club a couple of
Well,
times.
if they get him in the stadium, then they're going to look for that check.
That, fans, I'm told, is going to be right here on
That's
Friday
correct.
night. Get your tickets as early as possible if that happens. Kickoff return coming up by the Wildcats. And what looked like, well, at least you could start scripting out some come-from-behind scenarios. It's gotten a lot tougher once again. They're down 3 scores.
And only about 6 minutes left, so half a quarter in the season, and trying to score 3 times. But if they were playing McAllen Memorial, I'd say, hey, they've got a chance. But this is not McAllen Memorial.
Well, I mean, you go back to you gave Harlingen South's offense half the field with that onside kick, and they took about a minute and a half off the clock approximately.
Well, Jaden Taylor is starting to look like he did in the first half.
Yeah, 51 yards on that carry. He's had carries of, let's just go the double-digit ones, of 12, 13, 14, 16, 19, 35, and now 51.
But what got him that touchdown was that spin move he made.
Yeah, and then the block by his own quarterback, 25 yards downfield. First down play for the Wildcats. Pitch it back to Cuellar, running right side. Nothing there.
Santillana now is quarterback.
Right, yeah. Rivas is out as a quarterback. He's probably, I didn't see where he's at, but he's probably in as a wide receiver because unless Burgett is going to rotate quarterbacks.
Rivas is on the sideline,
Okay.
back behind the coach.
We haven't really heard too much of Santillana in his cadence and how he's done. He's played so sparingly throughout the year, so we don't know if he has the same kind of cadence rhythm as Rivas does.
He's going to be under center here. Little handoff, first man through, gains just a couple. They'll blow that dead. That's Segura on the carry.
But if, like we said, the winner of this game plays Edinburgh North.
Yes, sir.
If that scenario plays itself out, if you're in the stands as Edinburgh North scout, and I'm sure they're here today, you say, oh, who's number 4? We don't even know about him. He's a guy that can just totally turn this thing around next week.
Yeah,
if
next
they play.
week.
Yeah. because he really hasn't been that effective today.
Third down running play. Wildcats. Cuellar again cuts it back upfield, takes on a couple of tacklers, fights hard, will not get a first down.
I thought I saw a flag in the backfield, but maybe not.
I was looking at the cadence, such a long cadence snap count for Santillan. Santillan almost got him to go off sides, didn't get it after all. You know, Rivas, like I said, all year long, he's been using that weapon effectively.
Fourth down coming up. Wildcats keep their offense on the field. Fourth and less than a yard. Down to 4:40 left in the ball game. Harlingen South dominated this ball game in the third quarter. That pretty much sealed this deal. And that's a running play, and I'm not sure he got it.
No, Santillan did not get it. It's going to be about a half-yard
They get
shy.
a good spot. I mean, a real good spot. Where's Aaron Sines now? Can he spot this one?
All right, I'm getting behind it right here, gentlemen. They gave him a very good spot. I'm looking for that. Hold on, I'm gonna give you my prediction here, and I think that you may get this one, boys, just because of the spot. I'm looking at the nose of the football. It is going to be within 1 to 2 inches, but I think he may have gotten it.
We're going to get this call from a guy that hasn't missed in 2 nights in a row. On the spot, they're going to stretch the chains out. Didn't look like he got it, but then the spot was good, and he has got it by an inch or two.
And the streak continues.
I'm just calling him like I see him.
Eagle eye Aaron.
It's a good thing I'm not looking at that, right, Joe?
Exactly.
Aaron Sines on the sideline with the colorful perspective, and in this case, the 20/20 vision. First down for the Wildcats, 4:28 remaining. They're down to 3 scores. Still going with the running attack. Cuellar spins. They'll lift him up. That's one way to stop those legs from churning. He'll gain a couple. Cuellar, 167 yards on the ground. That's unofficial. He was romping his way through early in the ball game in the first half. Was matching Jaden Taylor. Actually outgained him in the first half.
And I'm trying to figure out why Rivas is on the sideline. Doesn't look injured.
He led him downfield and scored after that onside kick was recovered. Ended up scoring the touchdown on that play. Running play, Cuellar. Nice cutback. Help is there for Harlingen South. He'll gain 2 more. Third down coming up.
Well, Santillan is known as the throwing quarterback, the better of the 2 arms, but all he's been doing is handing the ball off.
3rd and 4 coming up for Weslaco East. At Action 4 Sports tonight, we'll have highlights of this one, highlights of the McAllen game, highlights of the other playoff games, and preview on that Edinburgh North Eagle Pass.
Do we have
tonight.
any updates on Harlingen?
We'll see if we can go score on that Harlingen game here in just a moment. Clock running here. 3rd down play for Weslaco East. Cuellar got a first down out across the 45 to the 47. 37-14 at half, Harlingen.
Yeah, that's about expected. Now, because they're in Division I and Division II, they will never meet each other in the playoffs.
The
two
South
Harlingen
and no,
schools.
no, that's correct.
One's Division I, one's Division II.
First down play coming up here for the Wildcats. Clock continues to run. Now out of a shotgun, Santillan. 2 backs in the backfield. Time just ticking away here on the season for the Weslaco East Wildcats.
That's Rivas, I believe.
That's Rivas this time. He'll gain a couple.
He snuck in on us.
Didn't sneak in on the Harlingen South Hawks. They were there to contain him.
This is about the point of the broadcast, Joe, where you say, well, who's coming back next year?
Well,
Because
for Weslaco East, what
yeah.
do they got coming back?
That's a good question. They have a youngster that didn't play much for him this year. Probably, if he's healthy, he will be back. A youngster named Alejandro Flores.
Well, and Darren Rivas.
And Darren Rivas will be back. But Harlingen South, this is an extremely talented senior squad for the Hawks.
Except for Jaden Taylor. He's a
Yep.
junior. He'll be back.
He's a one-man crew, kind of like Trevor Spates for.
Not a bad guy to build around.
Oh, yeah.
You got me, Terry. You've got Jared Villarreal as a junior coming back. You've got Cedar Rojas, who's listed as a quarterback, who's a sophomore. Brooks Guzman, following his brother's footsteps, who's a junior. So you got a lot of good juniors coming up that have played some roles here and there throughout the season.
The thing about a Weslaco East program is that because of the off-season strength and conditioning and the wrestling program here is so strong, their alignment is pretty much a guarantee. You're going to have a solid core of strong guys that are going to block ahead of whoever you put back there.
Well, 69 Sergio Morales, who just went off sides right now, is a junior, so he'll be coming back. Big ball, offensive tackle.
Start, number 69, 5 yards.
Clock stops with 2:09 remaining in this one.
Of course, most teams, everything revolves around the offensive line. If you got a good offensive line, and Weslaco East proves this year after year, whoever's a running back is a big-time gainer.
Well, it's line and system. Also, same thing with Weslaco, who we saw last night. Two systems that it's a given. You are going to be in the sports program and play football from 7th, 8th grade on. You're going to run a system, and by the time you get to high school, interchangeable parts, and it's never a rebuilding year. It's new faces, but you're not rebuilding anything because it's just plug and play with things you're familiar with doing for your career as high school.
You talk about juniors coming back, offensive linemen. You got like I said, 69 Sergio Morales. You got 77 Hector Diccanini, both juniors coming back next year. That's two big parts of your offensive line.
Third down play, and Rivas wants to throw. Now he wants to run, and he is not going to get a first down. It'll take us down to under a minute by the time they get that next snap off. Harlingen South, 400-plus yards of offense tonight. 274 on the ground, 132 in the air. And a team that can throw the ball a lot more than that if they have to.
Yeah, today was all about their running game, but of course, Preciado
had 2 catches that were instrumental in surging this South team with that comfortable lead. Touchdown catches of 45 and 35 yards for Preciado. Rivas, direct snap this time to Cuellar, running right side. He'll get a first down inside the 40-yard line. We're down to 35 seconds, or check that, 36 seconds left in this ball game.
I don't know about Division I, but I would say Division II. I would say Sean Montemayor definitely has a college-type arm.
Yeah, he is.
He's
he was
going to
throwing into the wind like that, and he's done that all season long with some big throws. Weslaco East will see their season come to an end, and as Harlingen is completing their victory in McAllen, that means that this district, fellas, is 0 for 4 this year. Rivas on a run inside the 35 to the 34.
And that's amazing for all the broadcasters throughout the valley and the sports experts saying that 31-5A was much stronger than 32-5A. And even me, I thought about 32-5A in the Brownsville schools, and you go have our number one school in the district goes down to Brownsville Rivera, who barely made it into the playoffs. That just shows that district is much better.
And while I got just a small chance here, I do want to thank the great camera crew at K-West and WISD for doing a great job, giving us great views all day long on this broadcast. It's been
and all
outstanding.
Season long, and of course you guys will continue on with additional sports coverage with a basketball team, a girls basketball team.
Number 1, yes.
Set to make a lot of noise. Should be the final play of this ball game for Weslaco East. They'll look to throw the ball downfield, wobbly throw up for grabs, picked off by the Hawks. And that, my friends, will do it. Harlingen South will waltz into Weslaco and win this one, doubling up the Weslaco East Wildcats 42-21.
I think Bud is expected by maybe some of the prognosticators, but it was just Harlingen South is just too balanced, and they have a real good defense, just a real good ball squad.
So the Harlingen South Hawks will move on. They'll take on the winner of Edinburgh North Eagle Pass. That's at 6 o'clock tonight at Alice. Tune in to Action 4 Sports at 10 o'clock. We'll have highlights from that one. Also, you can go to valleycentral.com and keep track of that ball game, as Kevin Nardo will be bringing the play-by-play of that one live with live audio coverage on the fly from that one. But we'll decide this. And as far as this broadcast goes, fellas, again, thanks for having me here and being a part of this. Always a pleasure at Weslaco.
Well, we'd like to, Terry and I always like to end the broadcast with saying, thank you to our crew, thank you to our superintendent, our board members, and everybody that's made this whole broadcast possible throughout this football season. Our athletic director, Oscar Diojas, that supports us, and all the coaches, of course, and the players. What a great season for both teams. Once again, making to the playoffs. Weslaco East for the 7th year making it to the playoffs. It's an accomplishment, and it goes back to Ms. Sue Peterson, who's the principal of Weslaco East, and creating that winning atmosphere and that winning attitude at that school.
And despite losing last night and today, both Weslaco schools, I think, had a successful season this year.
Yeah, a lot of positives to take from this, and they'll be back next year, and we'll see them in some spring ball that will also get you set, and then some 7-on-7 that will make you think that maybe this year will be the one that Weslaco opens it up. That's Joey Calvillo, Terry Beitler. I'm Joe Bowling. Aaron Signs on the sideline. This has been a presentation here of Action 4 Sports. It's also in conjunction with WISD. Keep track for additional playoff coverage coming your way on valleycentral.com as well. Again, for Action 4 Sports and Digital Subchannel 4.2, valleycentral.com and WISD. Joe Bowling, so long.